All right, welcome to the Planning Commission meeting, Monday, August 25th. If everyone would please stand, pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Planning Commission meeting this evening. On our agenda this evening, we have a consent agenda, which consists of the minutes from the July 14th meeting and a final plat PF 8-14-4530 amended the Lakeside at Chapman Farms. Another item on the agenda is a public hearing on rezoning RZ 8-14-4527. We also have the site plan design review for SPDR-4-14-4528 for the Green Lantern Car Wash, preliminary plat PP-8-14-4529 for the Green Lantern Car Wash, and then other business on the agenda. A couple items that I'd like to go over before we move on to our consent agenda is there are stacks of the agenda and the complete meeting packet over here on this table, that if anyone would like a copy of the complete packet, you're more than welcome to a copy of that as well. With that, I'll ask if there's any questions or comments in regards to those items listed on the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Billups?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. McCall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Consent agenda passes. The next item on our agenda is the public hearing rezoning. There are a few things that I'd like to go over in regards to the procedure on the public hearing. I will open the public hearing and I will ask for exhibits from our city attorney. And I would like to, at this time, say a welcome to Nancy Yendes. It's nice to have you here as a part of our city staff, and look forward to working with you and the rest of the Planning Commission. Then I will call upon staff to make their comments. We are going to have time limitations in regards to presentations this evening. Staff will have 10 minutes to provide comments. The applicant will then have an opportunity to make a presentation. That presentation will be no more than 15 minutes. The witnesses in favor of the petition will be called to speak. Those comments are limited to 5 minutes for each of the witnesses in favor. If you wish to testify, please raise your hand to be recognized. When you're called upon, then we'll have you come forward and be sworn in by the public stenographer. State your name and your address for him and make any comments to the commission. One thing that I would like to emphasize and hope that we would honor is please refrain from repeating points that have been made by others. The witnesses opposed to the petition will then be called upon. If there is a spokesperson on behalf of those who are opposed to the application, if that person could be recognized, that person representing the group would be allowed 15 minutes in order to point their comments pertaining to opposition to the change in zoning. All others would have 5 minutes to voice their concerns as well. And then there will be questions and general discussion by the Planning Commission. So at this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing rezoning RZ-8-14-527 for the Green Lantern Car Wash and ask for the exhibits from the city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The city has 10 exhibits to offer this evening. Exhibit 1 is the staff report with attachments. Exhibit 2 is the affidavit of publication in the Blue Springs Examiner on August 9th, 2014. The third exhibit is the application with attachments. The fourth exhibit is a 185-foot notification map. Exhibit 5 is the names and addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site. Exhibit 6 is a copy of the letter sent to said property owners. Exhibit 7 is Title 4, Land Use Section, Blue Springs Code of Ordinances. Exhibit 8 is the 2003 Comprehensive Plan. Exhibit 9 is the 2014 Comprehensive Plan. And Exhibit 10 are communications received in advance of the public hearing, which consists of 3 communications. Those are the exhibits from the city.
Thank you. With that, I call on the staff. Mr. Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Commission. Again, Scott Allen, Community Development Director. Before you this evening is a request by Blue Beacon International, representing their project Green Lantern of Blue Springs, to rezone a property located at 1110 Northwest 7 Highway, to rezone from GB General Business to RC Regional Commercial. There are 2 proposed lots, as you'll see in the preliminary plat application, just over 3 acres in size for Lot 1, which is the proposed rezoning before you this evening, and then about approximately 1.21 acres of Lot 2 to the east, which is not subject to this rezoning request tonight. As you can see by the site map, the area in question currently consists of hotel-motel use at the northeast corner of the I-70 and 7 Highway interchange. Just a little background, again, in order for a car wash as being considered to move forward on this property, zoning change is required for Lot 1 from that general business designation to regional commercial. Before you tonight, also, the applicant is requesting preliminary plat and site plan design review approval. Again, given the location, even though car washes can go in both regional commercial zoning and light industrial zoning, the applicant is requesting the less intensive regional commercial or RC zoning due to the presence of existing surrounding land uses. It should also be noted, though, that the current hotel-motel use is an existing non-conforming use, as it sits, again, currently on GB zoning. Hotel-motel use also would require regional commercial, should be, again, like a new use or an expansion of the current use. In terms of recommendation, just up front, do want to note that should the Commission recommend approval, conditional use permit, along with the site plan design review approval tonight and a final plat are required prior to construction. So even after tonight's proceedings and moving forward to City Council next week, applicant is still required to come back with a conditional use permit, which is a public hearing process, as well as final plat in order to move forward. I should also note a vacation of the existing a portion of the existing Jefferson Street right-of-way would also be required as it relates to the preliminary plat and project layout. Hopefully you've all had an opportunity to read through this, so I won't belabor it too much since I'm under the 10-minute timeline. But do want to emphasize some of these points being made regarding both the zoning as it exists and as proposed, and then also the comprehensive plan, both the 2003 and then the recently considered 2014 comp plan. Again, as noted, the motel use on the property is considered non-conforming use because hotel-motel uses are not allowed GB zoning district. However, given the residential character of the area to the north and the commercial services providing close proximity to the site, hotels still as exists may be an appropriate use of the property. It should also be noted that RC zoning, we did include a use table from the Unified Development Code. We did include the use table so you could kind of compare and contrast differences between GB and RC zoning. RC zoning may allow many uses which are less compatible with the surrounding neighborhood than uses permitted in the current GB zoning district. Some of those would be construction sales and service, vehicle equipment sales and service. So again, vehicle sales, used car lots, things of that sort you see along South Outer Road and 40 Highway. Vehicle and equipment storage yard or mobile home sales. Again, just emphasizing the close proximity to existing residential uses as well. Yeah, with the comp plan, again, the 2003 comprehensive land use plan is still what is in effect until the new UDC is adopted, therefore making the 2014 comp plan in effect. But we try to look at both just to kind of give a balanced picture of what's, again, been more historical through existing land use plans, and then also with the latest land use plan for 2014. Again, the 2003 comp plan shows it as a regional commercial use, and again, that's most likely due to the proximity to that I-70 corridor and along 7 Highway. It's also likely that the hotel-motel use or some of the other uses that were compatible with the residential that's already there were also contemplated. So again, it's maybe more tied to the existing land uses. In the 2003 comp plan, we looked at we did an existing land use review and also future land use review, and looked at that as, in a more general sense, as RC zoning. However, with the 2014 comp plan, there may be some merit in holding off any action on this property until that UDC is adopted and a more specific plan. If you recall, we looked at several specific plans throughout the city. This is one area that was not included in a specific plan at this point, but we are looking at moving forward in the next few years at doing some more specific plans for neighborhoods. Did look at this area as a corridor reinvestment area, and again, it directly abuts an area designated as neighborhood. So it's possible that a specific plan may look at a distinct destination type use rather than what's being proposed. So without getting to further going down the road of discussing all the details of the current comp plan, just wanted to note that, again, a specific plan has not been considered or adopted in this area, and therefore is not a lot of specific guidance beyond just what I've mentioned in the current comprehensive plan. So with that, also wanted to note there is that future land use policy map that we included as an attachment here. I can kind of zip to that if you want to take a look as the computer does some deep thinking. There we go. So here's the future land use policy map that we're using just to make those comments regarding neighborhood area and corridor reinvestment and such. So beyond this generality, we've not looked at a more specific plan like we did in some of these neighborhoods around the area. Again, also did include the use table for your reference. And with that, again, staff recommendations are just, if you look to move to recommend approval, have a comment there again about conditional use permit and final plat. And if you look to deny, I should emphasize, this is kind of my concluding comment here, if you are recommending denial of the request, staff also recommends then the site plan design review application and the preliminary plat application, both before you tonight, be continued to a future meeting. So those are not approved in advance of any hearing at City Council. Again, your recommending body as it relates to rezoning requests, therefore, but you're the final say in terms of site plan design review and preliminary plat. We just would recommend, again, not required, but recommend postponing those two perhaps to the next meeting, September 8th, to allow City Council to have adequate review of the rezoning request and your recommendation. So with that, I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Allen? Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Next, I'll ask for the applicant or his representative to come forward. And as I indicated in the opening statements, have 15 minutes. Karen will serve as our timekeeper here with about 1 minute left. She'll raise her hand to notify you of that 1 minute left, and then let you know when the 15 minutes is up.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Donald Boos, 500 Graves Boulevard, Salina, Kansas, 67401. I'm a Director of Real Estate and Development for Blue Beacon International. Pleased to be here this evening. And actually, I'm pleased to see a room full of people. We develop all over the United States, and rarely do you see this many people show up to support and show care for their community. So I'm pleased to see that tonight. With me, I have Kevin Harden, our architect with the firm Gastinger Walker Harden, and also Sterling Kramer with Olson Associates. They're our civil engineers for the project. Blue Beacon International was founded in 1973. We're a private company out of Salina, Kansas. Here in Kansas City, we're best known as the owners and operators of the Raphael Hotel on the Plaza. It's currently rated the #1 Marriott Autograph Hotel in the world. We also, our hotel division also owns one of the top-rated Hiltons in the world in Wichita, Kansas. Both hotels lead their respective markets in terms of occupancy and rate by a significant margin, largely due to our commitment to quality that spans across all of our companies. The core business, Blue Beacon International, are the Blue Beacon truck washes. There's approximately 117 in 39 states in Canada. Essentially, we are the truck wash industry. We're 10 times the size of our nearest largest competitor. Just like with our hotels, we're committed to quality in all that we do. Our owners challenge us to be the best at what we do in our industry and then as individuals. And they're very committed to being a great place to work. So what does a great place to work mean? Well, we pay everyone weekly. Everyone's paid every Thursday. There's an annual review for every employee, hourly, salaried, regardless. We have 401k with matching funds for all employees, even hourly employees part-time. We have health insurance for all employees, even hourly employees part-time. Our hourly employees' health coverage starts at only $12 a week to them, and it's the same plan that I'm on. It's really a terrific company. The other thing we do in our wash operations, we have a lot of young employees. Oftentimes, this is their first job. So we see this as an opportunity to teach some life skills, being their first employer. So one of the things we think that's very important is to teach young people to save money. So if our employees will withdraw or hold back money from their paycheck weekly, we pay 10% interest to encourage them to learn how to save. That's pretty remarkable in this time. We limit that to $200 in interest per person per year, but I get the same program as does every hourly employee. You'd think everybody would jump on board. About 48% of our employees do, but that's part of our commitment to being a great place to work. These are our locations of our truck washes around the country. That's one of our truck washes. Again, a very high-quality building. A few notes about the Raphael. In the interest of time, I will skip right past that. Our Green Lantern team, we're very proud of all the professionals we use in all of our projects. We're located in Wichita, Kansas with our car washes in the Kansas City area, Liberty, Olathe, Overland Park, Independence, and currently under construction in Lee Summit. We acquired the former Dave Cross Motors at 50 Highway and Shipman Road. We've demolished that and we're under construction right now at Summit Fair. Should open in February. And we're in St. Louis at St. Peters, Missouri on Mid-River Small Drive. This is our St. Louis location. Olathe. You'll notice our buildings starting with Olathe forward are 100% masonry. We just felt as we were pursuing higher quality, what we consider a AAA location, that the quality of our building needed to reflect the quality of the location. Oftentimes we're told, well, but you're just a car wash. We were expecting something really nice at that location. In fact, in Olathe, the mayor challenged us to have something that didn't look like a car wash. Well, when he cut the ribbon 8 months later, he said, my gosh, this doesn't look like a car wash. And they'd welcome us any day to go back and open a second in town. Another picture of Olathe. This is the Overland Park location. These building materials in this design is what we're proposing for this location. It's also what is going currently in Lee Summit. In Independence, we had to add a couple of features to meet the area design regulations to match some of the details at Cheddar's with some stone and some copper awnings. but you'll see the building, again, high quality, all masonry. Our buildings aren't for sale. Some of our truck washes that we've had 40 years, we still operate. We've had some we've torn down and rebuilt, but once we go into a place, we stay. This particular location, it's a very difficult location. It's a very difficult site to develop. It's very expensive, and it's relatively small, so you have to absorb all of this development cost in a very small area. In addition to the cost, and the seller's selling buildings in a business, we're buying dirt. So on a per square foot basis, this is a very expensive transaction, followed up with demolition, which is no small number here. And then we were surprised to find that we're being asked to redevelop Northwest Jefferson Street at our cost, but we're willing to do so. But you add to that the demolition and regrading of the old, what we remove on Old Jefferson Street. And then with the change of the road, there's some infrastructure revision. If you just add those three items together, there's about $600,000 in hard infrastructure development that we're being asked to absorb. Now, we're going to, and we're happy to do that. I will tell you that just about any other developer would have a TIF request for that amount and more. We're asking for nothing. In working with the city, we understand that you're expecting a high-quality development, and that's what we promise to deliver. Again, you can look at any of our locations, the nearest being at Independence at 470 and 40 Highway. We also understand your high-quality landscaping requirements. You've exhibited that with your commitment both at this subject location and at Woods Chapel Road. We've been discussing with staff enhancing the landscaping that's already on our plan with a masonry design feature featuring the City of Blue Springs and its logo, perhaps a welcome to the town. This idea just came up Thursday afternoon, and we're working with the city administrator on that. We've got a design being worked up as we speak. The other thing we've had a lot of input back from city staff and some of the elected officials about some concerns. First, that it's just a car wash. There's not much back to the community. There's no economic impact. Well, the immediate economic impact would be the revised Northwest Jefferson and its improved traffic at Shaw. Secondly, the industry is notorious for having poor jobs, not many, and poor ones at that. We'll employ 40 to 50 people, 45 to 50 actually there, estimated payroll $700,000 to $800,000. We'll have 6 of those positions that are career positions. We have managers that have been with us 30 years. The general manager alone, if they meet their bonus, has the opportunity to make 6 figures. Now, that's pretty much unheard of in our industry, but we're unlike other businesses. The building that's there is currently on the tax roll. It's ad valorem property tax for $660,000 roughly, annually paying $21,000 in property insurance. Our property tax should be somewhere between 2 and 3 times that just for the car wash portion, not the portion on Lot 2, which would be further enhancement. We've also heard that economically we're replacing a business that pays both sales tax and transient guest tax with a business that doesn't carry tax in the state of Missouri. And we're working with city staff to mitigate that issue to where that's not the issue. In addition to those impacts, we also have the economic impact of Lot 2, which is the property that'll be left on the east side of the revised Jefferson Street. And in working with city staff, currently we show 1.2 acres on the east side of that road. What we're working on is a redesign of that to increase that lot to where it's about 1.5 acres. And then we have pledged to the city that we'll hold that lot. We don't need to sell it financially. We're not in a hurry. We're a cash developer. We don't have a lender. We don't have a bank telling us we have to move. We don't have to absorb interest. We're able to hold that for an appropriate use that the city finds acceptable. And we told the city that we'll sit on it for 5 years if that's what it takes, because it's important to us to have a good neighbor there. I also met with an adjacent property to the east who had a concern about the visibility of the realigned road and how it would impact their west exit out of their lot. And our plan calls for a clear line of sight along that corner so that it's very visible to anyone exiting their lot, either direction, for oncoming traffic. I've had one call from a nearby property owner, Brenda Campbell, the owner of Lot 98. She's concerned about what might go on Lot 2, which I told her isn't something that's before anyone right now, but she's asking us to consider screening along that west property line in the interim while there's nothing there, and I think we're open to doing that. And she also has just a huge concern as to what the use of Lot 2 will be ultimately, and she couldn't be here tonight. I said, I'll go ahead and express that concern for you. Two other issues we've heard. One, the number of car washes in the area, that there's just too many. We're the only full-service car wash. We're the only ones with a staff of 50. We're the only ones with a payroll over $500,000 in that $700,000-$800,000 range. And at I-70, and there's 60-some thousand cars a day along Highway 7 there. There's 30-some thousand cars a day. Close to 100,000 cars pass by that intersection. We will average less than 0.5% of those cars as our business. There's literally every car is a customer. There's plenty of business for the car wash community. The last concern we heard from people was that of noise. Now, every location we have, there's a noise ordinance. We've never had a violation or a citation or a concern about noise. Our experience, and then what I've read in the International Car Wash Association, is the number one noise complaint with car washes is booming stereos in serve-yourself locations late at night. Well, first off, we close at 8 o'clock. Secondly, there's no self-serve. The washing is done within the tunnel or in our premium service bay. Again, largely we close at 8 o'clock at night. The other thing that would generate noise would be vacuums. Our vacuums are central vac. It's inside the building. You'll never hear the vacuum outside the building. So we also, they pointed out that just north of us there's a fourplex or a property zoned R4, and they requested additional landscaping and buffer along that, and we increased that setback and green space accordingly. And we're sensitive to all those things, and we're happy to work with staff and have worked with staff quite a bit here the last month, 6 weeks. And we'd be pleased to be part of your community, and we'd be a very active, good corporate citizen. You'd see us involved. I will tell you, in Independence, about 4 months after we were opened, we were awarded the 2013 Economic Impact Award. I don't know how many they awarded, but we were one of them for our positive work in the community. So we were proud to receive that, and we look forward to having a similar relationship in the city of Blue Springs.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions for the applicant?
Chairman, I have
Yes.
a question.
Mr. Bartolo?
The 0.5% of the total traffic that comes in there, can you give me a count of actually like an average day of car washes and a maximum day of car washes?
An average day for us would be near 500. A maximum day, it would be 3 days after a snow. We haven't had one in 4 years, but it would be over 1,000 cars. Now, we can wash more cars faster than anybody. We invest in the technology to do so, and we move them through our lot very quickly.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I have another question.
Mr. Bartolo?
You also said that you really don't have any sales tax at the point of sale. And I understand that after some of the background of them, but you've said you're working with the city to overcome part of that. How are you working with the city to overcome sales tax that you don't owe?
Well, first off, we do pay some sales tax inside our building. If you're getting your interiors cleaned and you get out of your vehicle and come in, we have a little area where we sell soft drinks and car care essentials, and those are fully taxed. We've come to other communities like this. We come from a town of 50,000. We understand the pressure, the financial pressure on running a town this size, and we're sensitive to it. So we've suggested that we can have a contractual arrangement where we literally pay the same fee to the city as what a sales tax would be without charging our customers. They're just absorbing it as an operating expense.
Mr. Billups?
You talked briefly about all of the hard costs in redeveloping this site. Can you tell me why you really want to be on this site and not on a green space that might be somewhere else that might not be so close to some residential property and that sort of thing?
Yeah, what we found with our model, again, in the volume that we're able to do, that visibility from the highway is just really essential. And ordinarily in our industry, it's considered an impulse purchase, a car wash is, and we're actually about 50% destination, 50% impulse. We've noticed in our locations that have highway exposure, they just do tremendously better. So as at 50 and Shipman, where we're right on the highway, at 470 and 40, where we're right on the highway, in Liberty at 152 and I-35, where we're right on the highway, we really excel. So that's our prototypical site. And it has excellent ingress, egress, in addition to the visibility.
I just don't see somebody getting off the interstate just to get their car washed.
Well, they do. They do. And then a new feature that we have, and I don't mean to do a commercial, but the whole industry has gone toward this prepaid, all-you-can-wash, unlimited RFID tag. And what makes ours work, we've just started it, but if you pay a monthly fee, you can use it in any of our locations. So you can use it in Kansas City and Wichita, Kansas City and St. Louis. We have they told me today we have a customer who washes every morning in Olathe and every afternoon in Independence because he has a car service and under the unlimited plan. So they're looking for that easy on, easy off, quick use, high visibility that ties into their business needs.
And I may be getting a little bit ahead of myself, but in looking at this plan, it seems very confusing to me as to how the traffic is going to flow around it, and it just to me it doesn't work. It looks like you're creating a lot of traffic conflict somewhere.
I'll go
here.
back one more that's a little bit easier to see. As you come in on the north, you turn to the right, and then it breaks into the 3 lanes, which the first time we did that was the Independence location. And we did that to avoid stacking so that traffic doesn't stack out onto the street. And we've not had any of those problems where we've got these expanded locations. If all you want is the exterior wash, you either go through the automatic lane or you interact with our salesperson. You pay, you go through the tunnel, you're out in 3 minutes and 20 seconds. If you want interior cleaning, once you exit the tunnel, you come back around to those 4 lanes. Each of those is 2 bays long, and that's where the interior cleaning is done. But the traffic has to function one way around for it to work. But this is basically the same as the Independence site plan. If you were over there at 40 and 470 and 40.
Apologize, I haven't been there.
Okay. 470 and 40. Thank you.
Ma'am, you'll have an opportunity to come up and speak. Right now, we're finishing up with the applicant, and then depending upon if you're in favor of the project or opposed to the project, or even have questions regarding the project, I'll then ask for you to come forward and be recognized. Any other questions from the Plan Commission? Yep. Mr. Wallace?
So you're bringing traffic in off of I-70 both directions? Or just one direction?
We assume it'll be primarily westbound, yes.
Sorry. No, so when you're going down 7 Highway, then how do you get into the car wash? You're got to be northbound to get into the car wash? And can you
I
get
think
into the car wash going south?
There's full access now, yes, at Shaw.
Both ways, okay.
Mr. Wallace, any other questions?
Nope, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Any other questions? One challenge that we have as a plan commission is to make a determination in regards to a change in zoning. This zoning is presently zoned general business, and you're requesting to change it to a regional commercial. During your presentation, I didn't hear anything in regards to support as to why the change in zoning would be good for this location or in conjunction with our comprehensive plan.
Well, I thought it did conform to the comprehensive plan.
For the regional commercial?
Yes. Isn't that correct, Scott?
As noted in my comments, yes, the 2003 comprehensive plan does note this as regional commercial for that area, but as I explained in my comments, that the reason for that may primarily be based on the fact that existing use is a regional commercial use as well. But in terms of conformance with the 2003 comprehensive plan, that is technically correct, but again, there are some there's some other information that I guess applies to that designation.
Okay.
And then the other option was an industrial, which we didn't think was appropriate.
All right. If there's no any other questions, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else speaking in favor of this application? If not, I'll move then to those who are opposed to the application. And as I mentioned in the opening remarks, if there's a spokesperson for the group, I'd call upon that spokesperson, and they would be given 15 minutes in order to present the case for the opposition. If not, what we'll do is we'll call on people individually, and they would be given 5 minutes to speak in regards to oppositions or questions regarding the application. Anyone in opposition to the change in zoning? Yes, sir?
I'm Jerry Witherspoon. I represent the Country Club Gardens Homeowners Association. I do. I don't think it takes scientists to determine that we have a heck of a bottleneck at Shaw. 0.5% of the existing traffic stopped at a stoplight is bad enough for everybody going north. For those citizens who reside in the area that we represent, which is roughly 400 homes, would be disadvantaged significantly with any kind of backup. As you can see from the diagram, anyone entering would have to enter on Shaw. We have approximately 225 citizens who would be impacted by an eastward flow with any kind of backup there. In addition to that, we have a number of people who would be going north for other citizens. So it's difficult to see how that wouldn't be a major disadvantage. And I was impressed with the presentation by the owner of the Green Lantern. I thought he's got his ducks in a row. It's obvious he wants to grow his traffic. They're aggressive in what they do. They're seeking more and more customers. So I think maybe that's going to work. It can only get worse, not better. And already we have a difficult time at the Shaw Parkway and 7 Highway. And as far as the plan for the Lot 2, of course, we're reluctant to approve anything or want to approve anything that we don't know what's going to happen. But I looked at the layout and I noticed that we have a number of residents there who were within 25 feet of that road. 25 feet. That's closer from me to you guys. So that's tough. And I also looked at some of the other sites that he mentioned, and they're magnificent sites, and I can understand why he would get accolades for them. but they're not nestled into a neighborhood. They're standalone out in some regional commercial area, unlike what we think this should be. So, as far as noise levels are concerned, I use the one over on 470 over there, and I know it's loud. It's very loud. And while you may say, well, we close at 8 o'clock, well, what about 7 o'clock? What if I want to sleep in? And I'm in that duplex there, 25 feet from that road. I think I might be unhappy with that, and I should be. I shouldn't have to put up with that. So we're very much in favor of the entrepreneurs of this country doing wonderful things, and it's a wonderful-looking plant. And I don't want to say not in my neighborhood, but I'm just simply saying put it in the appropriate neighborhood.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Yes, I do. My name is Lillian McDonald. I live at 1209 Northwest 6th Terrace. I am one of those residents that live within 25 feet. We have enough drug running going up and down my street than you could shake a stick at. There's too many kids. It'll cause too much traffic. That corner on Shaw Parkway and 7 Highway starts a cluster. The stoplights are not coordinated. And I'm going to say it, not in my neighborhood. It's too close. Too close. I back right up to that strip center. And there's too much trouble going on there now, back behind that fence. And that's just going to cause more problems. That hotel at the end of my street is notorious for drugs and other things. So yeah, I'm going to say not in my neighborhood. This is totally, totally wrong.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir?
I do. Lyle Shaver, 1325 Hilltop, which is in Country Club Gardens. In addition, I own property at the intersection of Shaw Parkway and 6th Street, as well as a couple properties on 6th Terrace that are all within about a block of this location. Jerry talked about the traffic issues. I won't repeat that. I'll just simply add a couple things that he did not mention on that. One is the queuing going to the, making a left turn there. That is an issue with coming out of Shaw Parkway, coming out of Jefferson. Fortunately, they are helping that by moving it to align with 6th Terrace. However, on the other side, the exit for the car wash now replaces Jefferson, probably with more traffic. So it's actually, in the end, I think will probably hurt the situation. I went through the car wash at 470 and 291 Saturday. It was about 7 o'clock. Very little traffic at that point. I did note that you had water in the street coming from underbody of cars and pickup trucks, in spite of it being 90-degree weather. What would that be in the winter on Shaw Parkway when you have a pickup coming out with a body full of water, dumping it? And right where you're trying to stop for a stoplight. So I think, in addition to the added traffic, I think that's an issue. Two, as I recall, when I was on the city council, there was a MoDOT study done of all of the major intersections on 7 Highway. Shaw and 7 was one of the highest accident rates in the city. This simply adds to it. And I'm assuming from what the gentleman said, with the cost of this, they are going to need a relatively high volume of vehicles to make it work financially. So you have a congested intersection with simply adding more cars, which I don't think is acceptable. Regarding economic benefit to the city, I guess I don't know what plan is in the future, but based on the car washes paying no taxes, then it would be a negative impact economically to the city. And I think this location, if you look at what is the highest and best use for this location, I think you would conclude that a car wash does not meet that. And it certainly does not meet the potential income for the city in terms of sales tax. Today, of course, as he mentioned, you have a motel there, probably not the highest volume motel, but they're still paying sales tax and room tax to the city. It is adjacent. It is the gateway to our city. It is a prime location, and you certainly would expect a business there that could take advantage of the I-70 traffic, I think. I think that highlights it. I guess in summary, I would encourage the commission not to approve it based on 4 points. It's contrary to highest and best use, loss of economic benefit to the city, particularly potential benefit. It's an unacceptable addition to current traffic issues, and it would result in pocket zoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Anyone else? I'm going to get the gentleman right behind you, and then I'll come back to you, sir, in the aqua shirt, blue shirt.
I do. My name is Bob of the Zoo. I live at 1300 Northwest 5th Terrace. It's about 3/10 of a mile from where this proposal is allegedly going to be going in. At this point, there's a car wash in the Phillips station right across Shaw Parkway. There's a car wash in the Phillips station at 7 and Duncan Road. And if you travel north on 7 Highway, about 8/10 of a mile north of 70, there are 3 car washes in a row, one under construction. That's 5 car washes, well within a mile of where I live. Why are we putting a 6th one? How is that going to improve the quality of my life? That's my question.
Sir, can I get the spelling of your name for the record?
Sure.
Thank you.
V as in Victor, E as in Edward, Z like in zebra, E, A, U.
Thank you. Sir?
I do. Joe Jennings, 102070 Northwest 81st, Parkville, Missouri. I'm owner of Rancho Grande Cantina. And our biggest, the traffic, I'm not going to beat, I'll just get with just the traffic. We're worried that could kill our business. Going to be congested. I know you said don't go on about the same things, but we're worried about the traffic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jennings. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in opposition or question? Sir?
I do. My name is Mike Marlowe. I live at 416 Northeast Gulfview Drive. I want to compliment staff. I read the staff report. As usual, they do an excellent job and it's very thorough. They mentioned, they kind of went back into history a few years ago to the comprehensive plan in UDC in 2003. I was very active in helping to develop that. I was sitting on the planning commission where you guys sit at the time, and we had a lot of input from the citizens. And in the past, the city has definitely noted the importance of this intersection
and the sensitivity that must be given to its development. The 2003 comprehensive plan does show it as regional commercial, and that decision did in fact relate to the proximity to I-70 and use of the principal gateways to the city. The UDC defines the regional commercial zoning district as one that is intended primarily to accommodate retail and commercial land uses that serve community and regional needs and is appropriate adjoining a major highway. We need to keep that in mind. When we were developing or looking at this particular piece of ground, we didn't really anticipate usages such as used car lots, mobile home sales, equipment storage, but rather we really thought it would be developed more compatible with the neighboring residential neighborhoods that and with services that really don't adversely create traffic and litter problems. And at that time, we were really thinking retail or light commercial. Everyone needs to remember that there is a finite amount of land to develop in Blue Springs. And zoning decisions need to be made very carefully, especially when you change them. It's my opinion that a car wash type of use is automobile-oriented and is definitely not a good fit for this location. Probably the last comment I'd like to make is that I think you all have been getting some emails about this, and I would hope that somebody on the commission would make a motion to include those as part of the record, because I think it's important that even those of us that weren't able to attend, have a chance to be heard. So with that, thank you very much.
And Mr. Morrow, I believe we entered those correspondence as exhibit number 10 into the public record. I believe, how many emails were there? There are 3 emails.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Okay. I'll bring it back up to the Plan Commission before we close the public hearing to allow the Plan Commission to make any comments, or if you'd like any other additional questions of staff at this time. Mr. Billups?
Mr. Chairman, there are some things about this that I really like. My first thought was regional commercial makes a lot more sense for this location with its adjacency to I-70 and trying to draw traffic in off the highway. Because that's what we need. We need to be able to pull those people off the highway, get them to stop here, and generate tax revenue when they do so. Contrary to the applicant's statement, I really don't see people getting off the highway just to get a car wash. And even if they do, we're not going to get any revenue, tax revenue from it. I also really like the idea of relocating Jefferson because it is way too close to that intersection, and scooting it back and giving that long stacking lane, I think will really make a big difference there. Again, it is kind of negated by putting the entrance to the car wash in between Jefferson and the intersection. So while there are some good things about this, I just don't think this, as they said, is the highest and best use for this property. And while I might be in favor of a change to regional commercial given the right project, I don't think I am at this point.
Thank you. Are there other comments?
Yeah, one.
Mr. Wallace?
First of all, I like the looks of that car wash. I mean, there's nothing cheap about that. And it's too bad you're not looking over at Woods Chapel Road and I-70 and Woods Chapel Road. We have some land over there, and we could use a car wash. And anybody wants to build a grocery store over there, too, we could use that. But, I was on the comprehensive plan, and we've worked a lot of hours putting together the 2014 comprehensive plan. And according to the staff reports, there's comments in here, that I thoroughly agree with, that that land, that could probably be well used by the city for some type of a destination type to agree with that plan. And I would hate to see that jump into something and ignore all the work that's been done on that plan without really studying it and thinking about it. And tell me if I'm wrong, but a denial tonight on this simply sends it to the city council. So a denial now is not necessarily a dagger in the thing, it's still alive. Is that correct?
Well, in rezoning cases, we are a recommendation body, and there would be a hearing before the city council.
Okay. That's all.
Ms. Banks?
Since our decision may impact the city council's decision, I am sensitive to the entrance to 7 Highway, having been involved so much on what Woods Chapel's improvements have been. So I'm not really, I agree with Councilman Billups that I don't believe this is the highest and best use. And since they have a motel company too, I would really encourage them to change what they're thinking about bringing there. So, thank you.
Are there any other comments by the Plan Commission members for the record?
Mr. Chair,
Bartolo.
I just want to make one comment for our Planning Commission. Is before my time on the Planning Commission, probably 8-10 years ago, when the city bought the park and ride across the street due west, filled it up, put a beautiful statue there, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe other people wonder what it is, and we moved the park and ride down the street, I think, to do two things: for beautify the corner, number one, and to alleviate the parking that was congested in that corner. The corner on the other side has more congestion if you really drive it on a daily basis, and I don't drive it daily, but I do drive it weekly since I see my mother at the end. And there are days, if you come off of Jefferson, you cannot take a left-hand turn. And at this, you just can't do it. It's 5-6 minutes at a time, sometimes longer. And I don't see anything where we're doing anything to put an egress or anything at this point in time. But I just want to make that comment that why did we buy the property across the street to beautify the corner and then put a car wash on this side?
Thank you. Any other comments for the record? If not, this public hearing is closed. And I would move it back up to the Plan Commission. As far as a motion,
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Billups.
I would move that we recommend denial the rezoning application RZ 8144527 due to the reasons I stated previously.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Roll call vote, please.
Planning Commissioner Wallace.
Aye.
Commissioner Haney.
Aye.
Commissioner McCall.
Aye.
Commissioner Graham.
Aye.
Commissioner Bartolotta.
Aye.
Commissioner Banks.
Aye.
Commissioner Billups.
Aye.
Chairman Trozen.
Aye.
Motion recommended.
So this recommendation, as far as to the City Council, will be a recommendation of denial in regards to the rezoning application.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
would you mind reminding the audience when that council meeting will be?
Mr. Allen, would you please give them the date and time?
All right, gladly. The city council meeting is next Wednesday, September 3rd at 6:30 in the same location. So due to the Labor Day holiday on Monday, the meeting has been moved to Wednesday. So the recommendation here tonight will be forwarded on to city council for next Wednesday the 3rd, 6:30 in this room.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Chairman. That will also, as you noted, that will also be a public hearing, much like tonight.
Okay.
Wednesday due to the holiday.
Now, I believe that the staff had a comment in regards to the design, site plan, design review application, and preliminary plat, that it be continued to the September 8th, 2014 meeting in order to allow the council to act on the rezoning application. Mr. Allen?
Mr. Chairman, that is staff's recommendation. Should the commission agree with that, certainly a motion for these next two agenda items is in order. Again, the next meeting date seems most appropriate to take that up. So again, not to delay the applicant any further, but then also still to allow opportunity at City Council for their decision next Wednesday. Again, if they also have the opportunity to continue their any, I guess, approval or denial or decision next Wednesday, they have an opportunity to continue that too, but not getting into all the multitude of different options here. Staff does recommend just continuing these next two items to September 8th.
Since
Mr.
they
Chair-
are
Mr.
two
Chairman?
items on the agenda, we'll probably do it as separate motions.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Billups?
I would move to continue the site plan design review, SPD R8 14 45 28, to the September 28th meeting, or the first available meeting after the City Council makes a decision.
September 8th,
September 8th, isn't that what I said?
28th, I thought you
I'm
said.
sorry,
It's
I meant 8th,
Yes.
if I didn't,
Okay.
if I misspoke.
Thank you. There's a motion on. Is there a second? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Billups?
I would also move we continue the preliminary plat PP 8 14 45 29 to the September 8th meeting, or again, the first available meeting after the City Council reaches a decision on the rezoning.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Haney, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion pass. Other business, I have the next scheduled meeting is Monday, September 8th, 2014. Is there any other business that the staff would like to bring to the commission?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. The annual state APA Planning Association conference is coming up in October. I want to say
it's like the 15th through the 17th.
Thank you. 15th through 17th. And Mr. Hawley had sent out an email, I believe, a week or so ago requesting some anybody who might be interested in attending that. We do have an opportunity to bring one planning commissioner to that. It's in St. Louis. But just wanted to give you one more chance to consider that and let us know as soon as possible yet this week. If you can, if you do have any interest in attending. It's kind of 2 days, kind of half day, full day, half day. So it's over 3 days, but it's essentially just 2 days. So it's a little bit shorter than the national conference, not as much time away, just a couple nights over in St. Louis. But anyway, just wanted to present that again, one more chance. Any takers this week, let us know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does any of the Plan Commission members have any items or interests they'd like to bring up? Okay, if not, ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion adjourned.
Second. Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.